We're
all right. Welcome, everybody. And today we have Vince Neil on the podcast, rock star, legend, one of the best frontmen ever to walk the face of the earth. Some of the greatest ballads and hits ever to come out of Southern California. And thanks for coming on. We really appreciate
thanks,
it.
Man. It's great to be here.
Absolutely. So I'd like to start just...
How excited are you?
I'm a little nervous. I'm excited. I'm going to talk fucking fast. I'm going to stutter a lot, but I'll ease into it, you know. It might take a little bit, but I'd like to start with where you grew up, childhood, and just maybe when you moved to Compton or right before then, wherever you'd like to start.
We start with Compton.
Cool.
That's where I grew up.
How was life in Compton back then? You know,
It was pretty scary.
was it?
I was me and my sister were the only white kids in school.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
But yeah,
I didn't know you grew up in Compton.
we found and my mom after she passed away, went through her stuff and saw my I was in third grade or fourth grade, a school picture of us.
Yeah.
And if you could pick me and my sister right out.
What school did you go to? Do you remember the name of it?
Broadacres Elementary.
Okay. And then did you go to middle school and high school there as well?
No, because it was junior high school, and the kids were throwing teachers off the second story windows, so
What?
off the balconies.
Really?
It was a tough school, man.
And were they dying? The teachers?
No, they were just teachers. You know,
Really?
they just
Just gave the wrong kid the wrong grade.
yeah. So they my parents said he's not going to go to this school, so
Yeah.
I used my aunt's address and went to West Covina.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Covina actually.
Now, how far was that from your house?
Well, I ended up staying with my aunt
Okay.
for a couple of years until my parents moved,
Mm-hmm.
and it was about, I don't know, about an hour away.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Were you into music at a young age? Did you play sports? Anything else?
Nah, I mean, in that school, I listened to a lot of Motown.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that was like the big, that's what
Mm-hmm.
everybody was listening to.
Mm-hmm.
So Motown was my
Was your jam?
thing. Yeah.
Any
And,
run-ins with gangs or anything like that as a young age in that neighborhood?
Yeah. The Crips and the Bloods were just starting out, and another group called the AC Deuces. And but I was the best friend. My best friend, his name was Paul Artique. I remember his name. His big brother is one of the founders of the Crips.
Really?
Damn.
So it was. Don't
good-
mess
good
with
friend to have.
my little brother's white friend.
So you were a Crip then?
Yeah, I guess so.
Now, what I'm picturing in my head might not be accurate, but I'm picturing like it's tough to go outside. There's quite a bit of violence. You just kind of keep to your own at nighttime. Is that accurate, or could you go to the park with friends and play and things?
He was a
like
Crip.
that?
He could do whatever he wanted.
Yeah, it was. What me and my friends would do, we would play army. We had a lot of construction going on,
Mm-hmm.
and with BB guns
Yep.
and shoot each other.
I also did that.
It was cool, and we just made the stuff that kids do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, lived on a big hill that went around like this, and we would take a little scooter, like a pedal car,
Mm-hmm.
and tie them to somebody's bike and just roar down the streets.
Fun stuff.
And then,
You couldn't. The one thing I learned, the ice cream man was the tough place to be. I was waiting outside. I had about 10 cents ready for an ice cream, and this guy came up behind me and slit my face open with a knife and stole my dime.
Really? For
Yeah.
a dime? For one dime.
what do you do? Did you just continue to stand in line and get ice cream, or was it
no,
a fight?
I was outside my house, and I just ran inside.
How old were you when that happened?
Oh, probably 7.
Damn. All right. Mean streets of Compton.
Yeah.
Coming true.
Whenever you were listening to all your Motown stuff, were you singing along? Did you have a voice? Did you know that you could sing?
No, I didn't get into that until I was 16.
Really?
I was in high school, and I never even thought about singing.
Yeah.
But this kid, he was new in school, and he had really long blonde hair, and he said, "Hey, do you want to sing for my band?" I said, "Sure. Why? Why me?"
Yeah.
He said, "Because you have the longest hair in high school."
When did you start growing your hair out?
I was pretty young.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I just tried, I said, okay, I'll go and sing with you.
Yeah.
I learned some Aerosmith songs and some Van Halen songs and stuff like that. And just kind of sang along and tried to imitate them.
Sure.
And I could imitate them pretty good.
Yeah.
So that's got me into singing. We were in a band.
Rock Candy?
Rock Candy.
Yeah.
We were the band that we played all the high school parties.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, with a big party band in high school.
So you had to make a decision at one point. It was cut your hair or play baseball,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
So can you walk me through that? What did your coach say to you? And did you go home? Did you talk to your parents about it, or what? How'd that go down?
No,
in your head?
I just I tried out for the team and stuff, and I was pretty good. And coach said, you have to cut your hair. And I was in the band. We were just starting out in the band, and I wanted to play ball, but I just said no, I'm not going to cut my hair. So I went this way instead of this way.
Oh, that worked out. So you went to high school with Tommy Lee also, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Were you guys friends in high school, or when did you guys become friends?
We became friends. I think I was 15, I guess, because we lived like right down the street from each other.
Was he in Rock Candy also?
No. He was in a band called Sweet 19.
Sweet 19.
And we were in high school, and we would ditch school, and I had a deal with a rehearsal studio up the street from the school. I would sweep up, and they would give me some free rehearsal time.
Oh wow!
So we just go there, we get some beers, and go jam all day.
And
So nonetheless, we didn't graduate from high school.
That was going to be my next question.
Did you ever get your GED or anything?
Nope.
Yeah, a boy.
For what?
I don't know.
Nope. Nobody in the band graduated.
No kidding.
Mm-mm.
Take notes, kids. It works. You can drop out and become a rock star. So, when did you get involved with Mötley Crüe? I know it was through Tommy Lee, but how did that transaction go down?
Well, Tommy knew Nicky, and they were going to form a band, and it wasn't called Mötley Crüe then.
What was it called?
It was just no band.
Okay.
It was just two guys going to get together. They found Mick in an ad in the newspaper.
Really?
And they needed a singer. And Tommy called me up and said, "Hey, you want to sing for my band?" And I was doing good in Rock Candy. We were playing all the parties. We just started playing Hollywood, at Gazzari's and places like that. And so I said no.
Really? Yeah.
And so they hired another band, another singer.
Yeah.
And but they hated this guy because he had something wrong with his hands, so he always wore gloves.
Really?
And they were in the studio recording a song, and said, "Take your gloves off. It's clapping part."
Yeah.
And he wouldn't do it. Just clapped with his gloves on. And so that we need a singer. And so Tommy goes, "Let me ask Vince again."
Yeah.
And I just got in a fight with the band members, and I said, "Yeah, I'll go in. I'll audition for you." That was kind of it.
And then you told the Rock Candy guys, "See ya, I'm going with these guys."
Yep.
How'd they take that?
The guitar player was pretty bummed,
Yeah.
but I was like, this is
Did those guys continue with the band? Did they amount to anything? Or
no, they broke up.
Fizzled out.
Yeah, I mean they were good guys too. So the band, the guitar player, his name was James. He was like an Eddie Van Halen.
Really?
He was that good, but he was not with the times. I wanted to be in a band that had like Van Halen was.
Yeah.
He liked the skinny ties and the big baggy pants and his spiky hair and so I didn't dig that. So
gotcha.
I was like, I'm gonna do my own stuff.
Is this 1980 or early 81 when you auditioned?
It was 80.
80? and then you rolled right into Too Fast for Love.
Yeah.
What was the time frame in between you joining Mötley Crüe and those three? I picture just mayhem for 3 days of you guys in the studio recording Too Fast for Love.
Yeah, it wasn't a lot of mayhem because we had a lot of work to do. It was basically Too Fast for Love was basically a demo tape, and we recorded it in 3 days, and we made Precedent Records a single, and I would give them away on stage just to get people towards the front.
How'd you guys come up with the name Mötley Crüe?
That was Mick.
Okay.
Yeah, we were sitting there. Nicky wanted to call it Christmas.
Christmas?
Yeah.
The band Christmas?
Yeah. Because he goes, everybody's heard of Christmas. I go,
Yeah, that's a good point.
well, that's really stupid. But we came up with some dumb names. And, the main thing for a band, if you don't have a cool name, you'll never make it.
Yeah. I mean, it's the first thing you hear.
Yeah, exactly. And
so did you guys get a manager? Did you guys have a record label? How did all?
well, we formed our own label.
Okay.
And we signed with a distribution company called Green World, and they had distribution in L.A. and Phoenix area.
Okay.
And that's where our album went to. Just those two
places.
Yeah.
And were you guys playing? Were you guys playing parties, festivals?
No, we were playing clubs.
Clubs.
Like the Roxy, Whiskey, and Gazzari's, and Troubadour, all the places in downtown.
When you guys were in the studio for those 3 days writing Too Fast for Love, was there someone in charge kind of championing that event and wrangling the other band members kind of to keep the tempo going, or whose job was that?
We got this guy who was a construction worker, and he wanted to manage us. We go, all right, sure. Give it a shot. And we got within a year we were playing the Civic Center, like Santa Monica Civic Center in L.A. and places like that. They're bigger places. Bigger places, and he couldn't get us any farther than what he did. So,
what is early on? I'm sure it changed as you guys progressed and matured, but the songwriting dynamics. Did you write all the words? Did Tommy write the drum solos, or what did that look like?
No, it was all different. Like maybe Mick would come in with a riff, and I would write the melody. How I just go, sing along with, and I would tell Nicky. Like Home Sweet Home. I'd go do 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 do. There's all these syllables, and then he would come back with words that fit those
fit the things,
fit the song.
So as I was doing some research and preparing for this podcast, one theme kept popping up that I can resonate with wholeheartedly, and that is you're no stranger to a fist fight.
A what?
No stranger to a fist fight.
Yeah.
Sam's been in a few fights.
I've been in a couple of them.
That was fun back then, though.
I agree. They were a lot of fun.
Somebody say something on stage, whatever, you're such and such.
You can do it. You could do it back then.
I'd jump in the audience. And
so April 1981. At you had an opening slot at the Y&T at the Starwood, and you're on stage, and someone spits at you.
Yeah.
Could you walk me through that incident over the course of the next 48 hours when you played there the next night? Then Y&T came on stage, and the crowd kind of dampered. Since you guys went from being the Outlaws to being the star of the show, kind of there in a 48-hour period.
I remember the guy spitting, and I jumped in the crowd. Nicky followed me, and Tommy jumped over his drums, and it was like a brouhaha,
And you guys just beat the piss out of the guys?
Yeah, we just fought a little bit, and security kicked him out, and
show goes on.
Yeah, exactly. We finished the set,
and then again the next night you had a bigger crowd.
Yeah,
Awesome.
Word of mouth.
So. What was at that stage, in your guys' careers, 1981, early 1981, did you guys all live together at this point?
Well, the manager that we had got us an apartment. It was just a 2-bedroom apartment, and 3 of us lived in there.
Okay.
and it was me, Nicky, and Tommy, and it was above the Whiskey A Go Go, and it was cool though because we would finish a set there, and it'd be sold out. Like it only held like 300 people, but I'd invite everybody back into our apartment, and it was pretty crazy. You know, the door was kicked in so many times by the police that we would take a piece of cardboard and stuff it in to shut it, like to lock it. You know.
Now, is that the apartment that got all the stories with killing the cockroaches with aerosol cans and lighters and
it was
like
it was a shithole. It was.
How long did you live there?
A year, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Now, at that point in time, you guys were partying full blown. Was cocaine the drug of choice back then?
Yeah.
Yeah. And just alcohol, cocaine, anything else in the mix at that point in time? Shrooms, maybe?
Well, not for me. So Nicky started on his heroin.
Yeah.
And Tommy was right with him too.
Was that difficult to deal with as a band member or anything like that, or did they just push through it and show up and
This is a life.
No, I did it once in a while too with him, but like during the Shout the Devil album, that was all done on heroin.
Really?
Yeah.
great album?
Yeah.
So from 81 to 83 to the second album, did you guys start playing bigger and bigger venues? Were you guys?
Yeah. We started playing. Started headlining civic arenas around the country, and then we went to.
Were you guys on tour buses? Or
a tour bus.
One tour bus.
One bus. That was and it was boy, that thing was a mess. It was I mean, all we did was it was decorated in women's underwear, you know, and it was a pretty funny place. I mean, it was.
I feel like I'd be a hell of a rock star. I don't know if I could handle it though.
I think that you would burn out in a couple of years. I don't think you could have Vince's longevity.
I mean, you're doing great. So the Bark at the Moon tour, was that the pinnacle of your guys' partying, or is that just another tour?
Oh, just another tour.
Really?
But for Ozzy, you know, Ozzy would ride on the bus with us when Sharon wasn't there. Yeah. So when Sharon was gone, well, when she was there, we called it No Fun Tour. You know, we had T-shirts made up with a big smiley face with bullet holes in it, and the back of the shirt had a circle with a line through it and said sex, drugs, beer, girls that were not allowed. Because when she was there, she would just give us a case of beer.
Oh, really?
And not let any girls backstage. But when Ozzy was by himself, that's when he'd ride on the bus with us constantly.
Yeah.
Did he have his own bus and he just hopped on
he
yours?
he had several buses. You know, one for the crew, his own bus, but he never rode on his bus when she was gone. He rode with us. I mean, he would come out and he would have Sharon's wig on and her dress, and it was pretty funny. He was a madman back then.
I imagine this life, like I can picture this in my head and feel like I'm almost there, right? I imagine this life, it's like, the only thing I can relate it to is maybe like buds, where the instructors and people around you just stretch you so thin to see how far you can go. And I imagine that same analogy with just partying, drugs, women, and everything in your guys' life. Was there a point where you just throttled back and it went from recreational to like almost not fun?
No, it was always fun.
My man.
Yeah.
that's what I picture in my head.
Yeah. No, we had a blast until like 86. Or well, I got the car accident in 84, I think.
Yeah.
So I'd stopped everything then. But that only lasted for a short while because I was tested all the time.
Sure.
And so we had our plane, and they would, hey Vince, can you pass this up? It was a tray of Coke. Pass it to the next guy, and I'm drinking,
Sparkling
water. Yeah.
I don't know if I could pass that tray, and I mean, you're a rock star. You gotta dabble.
Yeah.
Were you guys headlining then at that point?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then it came to a head in 86, 87, when Nikki OD'd on heroin.
Yeah.
And I heard on the I sit in my house and I hear it on the radio. Nikki Sixx just passed away today. And I'm like, what?
Really? You heard it on the radio?
Yeah.
Wow.
And that's where the song "Kickstart My Heart" came, because they got him back alive.
He was legally dead for 2 minutes, right?
Yeah, something like that. Maybe a little longer. He was out. You know, and what he did is he just went straight home and did another shot.
No shit.
And he was with someone from Def Leppard, or
no,
Guns
he
N'
was at
Roses?
like a house party.
Okay.
He was with Slash was there,
Yeah.
and
Slash, what a good
I don't
name.
know, some other a bunch of rock guys are there.
Were you guys all friends, the different bands?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Because everybody came to Hollywood to make it,
Really?
and we were the biggest band in Hollywood.
Uh-huh.
So it was, they had to kind of go through us.
Gotta go through you guys.
Another thing that comes to my mind when I think rock stardom is wrecking hotels back in that day, wrecking hotel rooms. And I don't know if it was Joe Walsh has a song about it or somebody does. Maybe it's Guns N' Roses. I'm not too sure. But I just picture these hotel rooms just getting destroyed and, girls everywhere and just a constant party. And
You just want him to verify that happened?
yes, a little bit.
I mean-
maybe share a story about ripping out some drywall, or I don't know.
we destroyed some places, but then at the end of the tour, you wonder why you don't have any money, because it went to paying
Fixing
the
all these
hotels. So we kind of stopped that.
Stop that?
Yeah.
What's the worst incident of wrecking a hotel room that you can recall?
In Switzerland, we're at a hotel, and me and Tommy were out shopping. We bought these flare guns, and
Of course you did.
yeah. So we shared a room back then,
Okay.
and me and Tommy we load it and we pull the trailer to just kind of fall out. And we go, what's wrong with this thing? So we put it in upside down, and this big ball of fire like this came out the gun, ricocheting off of the walls, landed in the middle of the bed. And we were laughing so hard. We wanted to tell everybody. So we ran out the hotel room and locked behind us.
Oh, shit.
And so
Burning the
we
hotel
were trying
down.
we had to get the maid to open the door. She cracks it open and smoke's coming out. That was a good one.
Did they kick you out of the hotel?
No.
No.
Paid for it, and
Bought a new bed.
yeah,
No drama there.
When did you guys start going international?
that would be 84. We opened for
Gosh.
it was a Monsters of Rock tour. It was AC/DC headlining, Van Halen in the middle, and us opening.
Jeez.
That was Van Halen's last tour with Dave, 84.
I mean, that was you guys were fast tracked. Those first 3 years, you guys just went wham,
Yeah, we did.
straight to the top.
Yeah, it was
Pretty
crazy.
remarkable.
Yeah, we it was neat because we played all the big soccer arenas or soccer stadiums.
And you were young, 20s, early 20s?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Oh,
Just living life.
who was the wildest member of Mötley Crüe?
as far as drugs,
Just the hardest to contain, I would say. Yeah, I guess you can use drugs as a metric.
I don't know. Everybody had their own thing.
Yeah.
Like Mick would have this thing he called gator juice or something like that. He'd take a big, like a Slurpee cup.
Uh-huh.
He'd fill it to the top with vodka and a little splash of ginger ale or something. And he would be on his amp. And he was out there. Some days I remember we were on stage and Mick came out on stage, had a blow-up doll taped to his back, and he's playing with the blow-up doll behind him.
As rock stars, you can you just keep up in the ante, I feel like.
I mean, I think it has to turn into a challenge, right? Like I do something crazy, or I do this amount of drugs or whatever, then you're going to try to one-up me with some sort of antics, number of girls, whatever it may be. I read the movie, read the movie. Wow. I read the book, The Dirt, I think 06.
Yeah.
And that started my or jump started, I'd say, my infatuation with the rock star lifestyle. And then I got in the SEAL teams. So I got just maybe a little taste of it because people are like, who are those guys? But no drugs or anything like that. But
you guys just looked cool.
Yeah, maybe that was it.
But squares.
Yeah, we're nerds. But
were you guys? Did you guys argue a lot early on, or were you guys?
No, we were too drunk all the time. Everything was good.
Yeah, nothing bad.
Yeah, we'd argue about. You just did the last of that. We would go. Why'd you take that? That was mine.
Your first big deal, your first big check. When you're like, man,
good question.
I got it made, right? When was that, and how much was it for?
It was probably. It had to have been after the Shout the Devil album. Mm-hmm. We got a check for like $3 million each. We didn't know what to do with that money.
Did you have a banker or anything like that?
We had an accountant.
Yeah.
We called him Dr. No. Because he
was no fun?
Yeah.
He's like, can't buy that. No.
I remember I had a bank account with just for groceries. Mm-hmm. And then I had a bank account for just having fun. And I didn't
bank account for fun was a lot bigger, I imagine.
Well, I didn't have no money left in that account. And so I wrote a check out of my food money for a Ferrari.
Really?
Yeah, because he said, no, you can't get a Ferrari.
So
watch this.
your first big purchase was a Ferrari?
Yeah.
And you're still buying Ferraris to this day.
Yeah.
Which Ferrari was it?
It was a Mondial.
Okay. What color?
Red. But then me, Nicky and Tommy, we decided to all get the same car.
Okay.
So we bought Testarossas. This is in 89. And I bought a white one.
Uh-huh.
Nicky had a red one, and Tommy had a black one.
Rock stars, man.
So the vehicle that I'm most curious about is the limo with the hot tub in it.
Oh yeah.
Did you buy that or have it custom made, or did you rent it?
A friend of mine owned it, and I just cruise around in it.
You think that thing's still in commission? Was that in California?
Yeah, it's in LA.
Were you guys all in LA? Living out there for the most part?
Yeah. So Mick lived at the beach.
Okay.
And me, Nicky, and Tommy lived in Hollywood.
Did any bands not want to work with you guys because of your shenanigans and antics?
No.
Really? Just because
Van Halen got pretty pissed off at us because we were at a party in Sweden, in Stockholm, and we were all at the same hotel. And we had a party there, and back then, I don't know what was in our minds, but we would bite everybody.
Really?
Yeah, we just bite them. And I grabbed Eddie Van Halen's and I bit him in the hand. He was not happy with that.
I mean, are we talking like a love nibble, or are we just talking like a serious bite that hurts a little bit?
Serious bite.
Really?
Yeah. And Ace, none of those bands didn't really, they put up with us, but Nicky with his hair up, he's like 6'6".
Mm-hmm.
And
really?
And Malcolm Young, the guitar player for AC/DC, he's like 4'8", And Nicky, they were arguing about something, and Nicky grabbed him and picked him up by the neck and held him against the wall. And
what's your favorite country that you visited on tours?
Now,
one? Either one.
I don't know. I like them all.
Yeah.
Because everyone has something different to it. And I like London.
Yeah.
And English stuff, but I don't know.
Been in a lot of places.
So
have you. You've been in a lot of places. Do you have a favorite country?
I like Italy a lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Australia.
Yeah.
So you're on stage, right? I'm sure there's pre-concert or antics and post-concert concert antics. And what I'm picturing in my head is you have a crew member going around and grabbing girls out of the stage that are good looking, that meet, your guys' metrics. Mm-hmm. Is that essentially what happened? Then shove them all backstage and promise them the
during
world?
the Dr. Feelgood tour, You might not want to hear this. We had because during Tommy's drum solo. See, how we started the show. We were underneath the stage, and we'd have these things shoot us up in the middle of the stage, and so there was a area under the stage where you could hang out.
Sure.
And me and Nikki, we built a built a box and filled it with kitty litter. And the guys would go get girls for us. And so if you wanted to join the kitty club,
Go on.
we'd make them squat and piss in the kitty litter. And they'd make us come. And in your hand, they have to lick it off your hand and say meow.
That's some of the most rock star shit I've ever heard. I mean,
Those girls are somebody's grandmother right now, you know?
Oh, she's in the kitty club and she's a proud member.
Yeah.
Listen to this right now. How did this thought come to fruition? You were just down there like, hey, I'm going to build this box. I'm like, yeah, I'll go out and I'll get 100 pounds of kitty litter. And
he was just seeing if they could actually get a girl to do it.
Yeah, it's stretching that rubber band.
Yeah.
What else could you do underneath the stage?
Sure.
I mean, that'd be one of the first things I think of too.
Did you guys have different types of girls? Did you guys ever fight over girls? Did everyone kind of have the different?
No, because they were all pretty hot. You know, they. The worst place for or the best place for girls was always Salt Lake City.
Really, Mormons.
Because those they like so kind of depraved because the Mormon stuff. And
a lot of blondes out there.
They just come to a Mötley Crüe concert and just go hog wild.
Yeah. They were crazy there.
It's like the Amish when they get that year off.
Rumspringa.
Yeah, Rumspringa. They just go crazy.
So who main veined the Jack Daniels?
Oh, that was Nikki.
Really?
How much? I didn't hear about this. What happened? IV'd one?
Yeah.
Holy shit. Did he live?
I wasn't there. Ask Vince.
Yeah.
Who did a doctor do it or he did it?
I can't remember if we all did it or.
Sounds like you all did it. Everyone did it.
Because that's the only way to come down on a lot of coke.
Yeah. Oh, really?
You shoot yourself up with Jack Daniels.
No kidding?
I don't think it's that good for you, but.
And that just evens you out.
Yeah.
Don't look at me. I don't know anything about this.
I'm just floored. Who discovered this technique?
I think just,
trial and error, man.
Tired of laying in your bed, squeezing your pillow as hard as you can. I got to come down.
Who's the first person you saw do this? Do you remember that at all?
I think it was Nikki or Tommy. I think it was probably Nikki, though.
Yeah. Man.
You're flabbergasted. You don't even know where to go after that.
I think I would go vodka. It's clear. It seems a little bit more healthy.
I think either one is probably not good for you. Both are bad.
Did you ever try vodka, or is it just Jack Daniels?
Just Jack Daniels.
I mean, I feel a commercial or marketing gig in the making here.
Yeah.
Maybe not.
Yeah, I might not condone that.
So I know you're really into cars and Formula One and driving.
You did an Indy circuit, didn't you?
Yeah, Indy
races.
Yeah. I raced half a season for IndyCar.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. I know you bought your first major purchase was a Ferrari. Did you just get into driving then after you got behind the wheel of that sucker? I'm like, man, I dig this.
No, I just was always an IndyCar fan.
Mm-hmm.
And so I had some free time. And so I just found a guy who had a car and I just went racing.
Yeah.
I had to fund it.
Yeah.
But it was fun. It was something I could knock off my bucket list to do.
Absolutely. I would love to do that.
Did you ever go to the driving school in Arizona? I think it was called Bondurant.
No, I went to Skip Barber in Sebring, Florida.
Okay. And is that a circle track? Or
No.
is it IndyCar?
It was an IndyCar track.
Did you do that Toyota, that Pro-Am that was out in California?
The Toyota Grand Prix. Yeah, I did that.
They stopped it in like 16. I almost did it. They asked me to do it in like 11 or 12, and I didn't do it. And then I was gonna do it, but then they
Yeah, now it's
stopped
the Acura.
they changed it.
Yeah, the Toyota got out of it,
Uh-huh.
and so they canceled that whole thing. That was pretty cool though. But like because I'd raced in IndyCar before, I raced in that race.
Yeah.
But I didn't race with the celebrities. I raced with the pro drivers. So they put
Was that a stick?
Yeah.
Yeah. So then the guys got pissed because they thought that you were doing too much racing,
Yeah.
and that's whenever you guys broke up.
Yeah, but the true story of it was, I didn't do it until after we broke up. And they said I don't like music anymore. And when we broke up, I was the first guy to put out a
solo. You went
top
solo.
10 single.
Yeah.
And so I did everything that they said I couldn't do.
Was that scary going from being in a band to a solo artist, or was it pretty seamless?
No, it was great. I opened for Van Halen, my first tour as a solo artist, and it was with Sammy in the band, and it was pretty cool. Except for when you open up for Van Halen, because with Sammy in it was like date night. So you take your chick to go watch Van Halen, and so when I was on stage, nobody had gotten there yet.
Were you still living in California at the time?
Yeah.
When did you leave California? Do you still have a house in California?
No, no. I sold that, and in '95 I moved to Las Vegas.
Okay. And then how long did you live there? Or do you still have
until we moved out here, and I lived here for 4 years. When we finally decided to get rid of that place and just be Tennesseans.
Mm-hmm. So 92 you went solo, and then 97 you guys got back together?
We got back together with the Generation Swine album, and I hated that record. I still hate that record.
Why do you hate it?
It just no good songs on it.
Okay.
And I told him, I go, this record sucks.
Yeah.
No, we love it. We love it.
Why'd you guys get back together?
Well, when Mötley went out,
Yep.
their tickets stopped selling.
I'm sure.
And I was doing pretty good, but I wasn't selling out places. I was opening for guys.
Guys, yeah.
And so they sent their manager called me up and said, we'd like to meet with you in New York. And so I flew to New York and sat there and talked to him. And I don't know, it took a while for me to say okay.
Yeah.
But I finally gave in and went to the recording studio where they're making Generation Swine which was at Tommy's house.
Okay.
And Nikki's house. And I don't know. It was bad for a while.
Really?
Because I didn't want to be there.
Yeah.
But
They probably felt that.
So I read that you opened up a tattoo studio was that in LA?
no, Vegas.
Vegas? Do you still have that?
No, it was. I had it for 7 years and closed down because that's where they built the link. That's the Ferris wheel thing they have there.
Who do you think has more tattoos, you or him? Do you know how many tattoos you have?
No.
No. Do you know how many tattoos? You don't know how many tattoos you have.
No, I have 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, that's kind of what I say. I have about 5. Maybe. So I have.
I've been thinking about getting a tattoo. I think it's too late though.
I'll
right?
give it to you.
There's no way you know how to give a tattoo.
I've never given one, but I bet I'm better than the average Joe that's never given a tattoo.
Why do you think that?
I don't know. I can't draw worth a shit, and I
I
have
know.
horrible handwriting, but you're just following lines. So I have some halfway decent, crazy tattoo stories. Do you have any? Any on the tour bus? Anybody just grab a tattoo gun and let her eat?
No, we had a tattoo guy. I can't remember his name, but he for years he just did us.
Oh, really?
And he did the artwork for Dr. Feelgood album. That the staff with the snake thing. He designed that too.
What was your first tattoo?
it was. Let's see. It was that snake around a musical note.
Oh, okay. That was the first one.
First one.
You remember your first one?
Yeah. I have boxing gloves on my back shoulder.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Do you have any you regret? I have some bad ones. I don't regret any.
No, I liked them all.
Wish I regretted one.
I was in training, and it was a long weekend. We had the weekend off, and I wanted my knuckles tattooed really bad. And we've been on a heater all weekend.
You wanted your knuckles tattooed?
Yep.
Okay.
And the only 2 4-letter words I can think of was "fuck this."
Okay.
And I'm like, man, I shouldn't get this on my.
So you wanted fuck this on your hands.
Yep.
Was the left hand gonna be fuck this, or the right hand was gonna, like, could people read it, or
Yeah.
was it for you?
People can read it.
Okay. Got it.
So I'm waiting in line. I'm in Pacific Beach, San Diego, waiting in line to go into this bar. It's called Longboards.
Okay.
It's my favorite bar, and I've been at it all day. And it's the evening time frame, and there was a line, and I knew all the bouncers, but there was a new bouncer, so I couldn't skip the line. So I'm waiting in line, and I look over, and I see a tattoo shop.
Okay.
I'm like, maybe I'll get this tattoo. But like I said, I want to fuck this, my knuckles. I'm like, you know what? Maybe I shouldn't get on my knuckles. I'll get on my toes. So I walk in this tattoo parlor. I'm like, yeah, I want to fuck this across my toes, and I want a chicken on one foot, a pig on the other. And he's like, all right, sit down. He's like, what do you want on the other 2 toes? I said, what are you talking about? He's like, nothing, I got you. And he put an exclamation point on one and a bomb on the other, no, a star on the other, but now it kind of looks like a bomb.
Okay.
Because I couldn't make the cognitive leap from I needed 2 5-letter words to vice 2 4-letter words. So
5 toes. You got 5 toes,
yeah,
not 4.
I wasn't tracking at the time, but that's one that's about to get interesting as the kids get a little older.
Yeah, Daddy. Why do you have fuck this?
June can read it. And I think she just keeps it to herself. She's tight-lipped about everything.
Yeah, she's like, I'm not going to ask this question.
But and then so your passions now, cars. I saw you had a cooking and tequila type deal or book out a while ago.
Yeah, I had a wine first.
Oh, really?
You had
And,
a vineyard.
Yep.
I did know that. Yep. And
Yeah.
You had an off the strip poker tourney. You had a tequila. Dr. Feelgood Bar and Grill.
Yeah.
Where was that at?
Vegas.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. What was your favorite business venture out of all those?
Probably tequila. That was pretty cool.
It's really cool.
Did you go down to Mexico or?
Yeah, we had 2,000 agave plants
Really?
down there, and I'd ride a horse through the agave fields and,
Dang.
the Serapion, and, it was pretty cool. And we had where we made it was in Guadalajara,
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
and it was just a family that made it and stuff,
Yeah.
and so it was really good stuff.
Nice. Now, do you have a passion for cooking? I saw a cookbook.
No, I don't
No?
know cook.
Okay. Just drinking with the tequila, which I can appreciate.
Yeah,
And wine, was that in Northern California?
yeah.
Yeah. How long did you have that, and what was your favorite part of that venture? Was it-
I mean, I like drinking it, but it was neat down there. We up there we had a winery was beautiful, and
Was it in Napa?
yeah,
What,
it was in Hillsburg.
what years did you own that?
Jeez, I don't remember.
Was it a 90s-ish?
Yeah, 90s.
That's what
How
I
many
do.
how many cars do you have now? What's your car collection?
22.
What's your top 3 favorites?
The Ferrari F8,
Mm-hmm.
the Ferrari Italia,
Mm.
and then I just bought the Formula One car.
Oh, you did buy it?
Yeah, it's
Red
Valtteri
Bull?
Bottas's last year's car.
It's amazing.
Stupid question. Street legal?
Yeah, well, it's just a show car.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
So
I say gotcha like I know what that means. I have no clue what that fucking.
It doesn't have an engine.
Yeah, no,
Okay,
it's
gotcha.
just the body.
Okay, gotcha.
I told him he should put like a little 4-cylinder in it and just
Rip it around.
yeah,
town.
rip it around Leaper's Fork,
What's your least favorite car that you've ever owned? That you bought that you were excited about
That's-
that ended up being shit.
I mean, I used to go to car auctions
Mm-hmm.
when I lived out in I forgot where I lived, but I'd go home and I'd go to the auction, and it was the Spectrum auctions,
Mhm.
and they'd have a VIP tent. It just get you liquored up, and you're liquored up, and you're bidding on everything.
Oh yeah.
I came home with like 12 cars one time, and I'd bought like a super 4x monster truck.
Mhm.
I bought a limousine.
Without a hot tub.
I bought a this is a good car too, a 61 Vet. It was all original.
Mhm.
What's
I bought some piece of crap too. You know,
what's tour like now versus whenever you guys started?
touring now.
Yeah.
Well, now, like in America, because I have a plane, so I just fly to the gig, do the gig, and fly home.
Yeah.
So I'm not really on the road anymore.
Is everyone kind of settled down in the band, and
Everybody's married.
everyone's married?
Yeah,
Kids,
the kids are out on the planes.
much
and
less partying.
There's no partying. Because Nicky's been sober for 20 years.
Really?
Yeah. And Tommy's been sober for 2.
Look at me.
I don't know. I think like 2 years he's been sober.
Strictly business when you're on the road now. Now you said in the United States. What about when you guys are overseas?
We charter plane,
Yeah.
and we just fly, but
Play the
we don't
West.
fly back home, but we fly out next city and stuff.
Is there a little bit more camaraderie when you guys are overseas since you're traveling together and things like that? Or is it just still everybody
'cause,
sticks to their own?
Everybody's with their ladies,
Yeah.
and Nicky's got his kids with him, and
I mean, you guys have been off and on for 30 plus years.
40
40.
years.
Yeah.
Yeah, 42 years. This is 81.
That's an unbelievable run.
Yeah.
You ever talk about it and like look at it and be like, we've accomplished a ton of stuff in 40 years. It's hard I think it's really hard for a band to stay together that long.
Yeah, it is. Like, we're one of the only ones, like besides the Stones, Aerosmith. I don't know. I can't think of any others.
No. They're
Oh, AC/DC.
So you got your start on Motown music, and one thing that I was curious about: do you like singing any other genres of music?
I really haven't.
Yeah,
I don't really get a chance to do that unless
I'm just thinking, like in your house, is there listening to any music and kind of singing along with it? Not singing in a band, but just kind of singing with the radio. Type deal?
yeah. I mean, I like Creedence.
Mm-hmm.
It's a favorite of mine, and that's not, I love the Gypsy Kings.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
They're fun to listen to.
You like any country music?
I don't know. I mean, I do like some songs, but I couldn't tell you who doesn't.
Yeah.
Sure.
I like old George Jones, Merle Haggard. Those are two of my
The old
favorites.
stuff?
Yeah, real old stuff. Just that twang it has to it, and the storytelling about it. That's my favorite. But I could sing along to it, but it just sounds no good.
Makes sense. What are your Dolphins going to do this year?
Hopefully, we can do good.
Keeping Tua?
What's that?
Keep Tua?
Yeah, keep Tua,
Keep Tua?
and everybody else.
Okay.
Next week we're having Frank Smith on the podcast, and that is the offensive coordinator.
Oh
So
yeah.
he'll be out here for just a day or a weekend or something like that next
What's
week.
this ring?
Oh, this is the Stanley Cup ring of the Golden Knights. This year's champions.
They couldn't make it any bigger?
Yeah, I know. It's crazy, huh? I put it on. I'm like, oh my God, this thing's
That
massive.
thing is unbelievable.
Is that a Sky Dweller? Your watch? Is that a Sky Dweller?
Oh yeah, it is.
That's the stadium?
It's a stadium.
What?
That thing is cool as hell.
And you can wear this as a pendant. See, this comes out, and you can wear that.
Wear that.
I like that idea.
You're a big Rolex guy.
I love them.
Yeah.
He loves Rolexes.
I'm about to get the Sky Dweller, but I think I want the Jubilee bracelet. Vice the I forget what this one's called, but yeah, I love Rolexes.
Yeah, I got this from Nicolas Cage gave it to me.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I was at his house, and I'm asking about his Oscar. You know, I wanted to see his Oscar. It's in the bathroom.
The guest bathroom or his bathroom office?
Yeah, the guest bathroom. I'm just like, why is your Oscar in here? He goes, you know, just you know, Nick. You know, he's a little out there, but
How'd you meet him? Just being in LA.
we met at a Beach Boys concert.
Beach Boys?
Yeah. It was at in Vegas. We were at the Red Rock Casino, and they had us sitting together. And we started talking and stuff and became good friends.
Was that a long time ago?
Yeah. He was like, well, I've been living here for 12 years. So,
Does he live here?
no.
Okay.
No, he still lives in Vegas.
Oh, gotcha. So I'm a big fan of big cars. And do you have any big cars or you just like fast cars?
I have some big cars. I have a 36 Auburn.
Okay.
That's a massive car. I have a 69 Buick 300.
Oh, there you go. That's not a small automobile.
I got a 57 Chevy.
Oh, there you go. All right. I've always wanted a Lincoln, like a mid 62-ish, suicide doors, black. I had a 1965 Cadillac Coupe de Ville in high school.
Really?
Yeah. It wasn't a drop top, but it was sweet. With 4.5-inch white wall tires.
I want a late 50s, early 60s station wagon. Patina.
Like a Nomad?
Yeah, but like the station wagon version of it.
Yeah, I think
like the seats in the back that fold up and you're facing each other, you're facing the back.
the Nomad, I mean, it's a famous muscle car. And I think to get into that game now is like they're expensive.
Cars in general are expensive.
Yeah.
It's absurd.
They're crazy.
Formula One, is Red Bull ever going to get caught here anytime soon?
I don't know, man. Last week's race was end up 22 seconds ahead of the second place.
It's absurd at this point.
Yeah.
22 seconds?
No, he's winning. Like that's pretty standard for him.
Really?
Yeah.
He only lost 3 races last year.
Yeah.
He won every other
And
one.
winning by 30, 40 seconds. Just lapping people.
How?
I don't know. It's crazy because the cars are almost basically the same,
Yeah.
except for a few things they do to them. But
It's absurd how good they are.
it's really the car. It's not really the driver.
Mm-hmm.
But because like when George Russell came up from Williams, Williams uses Mercedes engines, and he jumped into the Mercedes car, the Petronas car, and he almost won the race.
Yeah.
But in the Williams car, he's finished almost
Getting
last half.
destroyed.
Really?
Yeah, it's a lot. I mean, these drivers are all really good, but it's just if the car is superior, it just is.
How much money goes into each one of those cars?
Millions.
I mean, hundreds of millions.
Yeah.
Yeah, these teams are loaded.
And they Verstappen makes $55 million a year just for salary. Makes another $20 million a year in endorsements.
Wow.
So drive a car fast.
What is the top Formula One race? Like if
Monaco.
Yeah,
I take it that's in Monaco.
I would. It's a good guess.
What makes that race so cool?
History of it. It's been going on the streets of Monaco since the 50s.
When you watch one of those races, is it best to be on like a certain turn, a straightaway, or the finish line?
For everybody's a little different.
Yeah.
What's
your preference?
I like to be on the turns.
Oh, really?
Where they're going to make passes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do they typically make passes in the turns?
Well, I mean, the straightaways are just flying. But it's not that much fun to watch now because Red Bull is just gone.
You're just wondering who's going to win second.
Yeah, like who's going to come in second place? Because he gets the pole and it's just over. He doesn't wreck. I mean, he's 30 seconds ahead of people. It's just the last 10 laps he's just cruising.
How long's this been going on?
He's a 3-time champion, 3 in a row.
Really?
And last year was just domination.
And you think it's the engine? He's using a Honda engine. Of course, Ferrari's using Ferrari, Mercedes, so on and so forth.
Yeah, but I think Red Bull's starting to make their own engines. So I think their deal is up here in the next couple of years.
And then can someone else take
The Honda engine?
Yeah.
I guess. I don't know.
But I assume it takes hundreds of
Yeah,
if
you're not
not
going
billion dollars.
You're not
to
going to
get
put take the Ferrari and put a Honda engine in it.
Yeah.
So you have to start a team that is, something like Red Bull that doesn't by name have allegiance to any one sort of motor,
Exactly.
right?
Exactly.
Yeah, because either the lower teams, they drive either Mercedes engines or Ferrari engines.
Mm-hmm.
McLaren's got a team. I mean, there's like, what is there, 12 teams maybe?
Yeah.
Something like that. So what, you going on tour again? What do you got coming up?
Yeah, I leave in May.
May?
Yeah, until September.
Where, U.S.?
Yeah, U.S.
Who are you going on tour with?
Just us.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, there'll be bands opening, but we're playing a lot of the fairs. Like we're playing the Kentucky State Fair, Illinois State Fair, all the big fairs.
Do you have any bands opening up for you that you know about that you like?
No, they just put whoever they can in front of us.
Yep.
So we don't really have a say because we don't really ever know
Yeah.
who's opening.
Where can people find out to find out where you guys are playing?
Motley.com.
Motley.com. Check it out. You got any other questions for Vince? Stories that you want to hear?
Sir.
You get your rock star.
Yeah.
I think you're the first rock star I've ever met in my life. I've been fortunate to meet a lot of people, but I don't think I've met a rock star. So thank you, and I really appreciate you coming on.
All right. No, it was great, man.
Yeah,
Thanks, Vince.
absolutely.
Great. No, thank you guys.
All right. Let's go to lunch.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you.
Yeah, thanks.
Hell yeah.
I forgot to tell you about when the wives and girlfriends weren't on tour, when they're gone for we're gone for a while, and they all come in at the same time. So
The burrito story. That's what
No.
I forgot to fucking bring up.
they all lined up in the bathroom to get shots
Oh yeah, penicillin shots.
before the girls come.
Yeah.
What's the burrito story?
They used to go
You can
get
leave
egg
it here.
burritos
I'm
and
not-
they'd be fucking around with women,
Yeah.
and then their
Alright.
main
I'm gonna
woman would
run.
come around, but they'd go to the burrito shop and rub burritos on them.
An eggy beef burrito. They'd rather smell like a burrito than pussy.